For Cindy McCain, one of the more trying times in her life was a difficult period when she became addicted to painkillers. She talks about that on Friday's 2020. And we have the untold story behind her addiction. Paul Boyd reports.
Cindy McCain opens up about conquering addiction to prescription drugs on Portrait of a President, airing Friday on ABC's 2020. She says she began taking painkillers following back surgery in 1989, but kept her addiction secret from her husband.
I knew I was in trouble, but I just didn't want to, I didn't want to upset him. We'd had a lot going on, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be another problem for him.
But there's an untold story about that painful chapter in the life of John and Cindy McCain.
I feel badly for Cindy. She was a drug addict.
Tom Gazinski is the whistleblower who tipped off federal authorities that Cindy McCain was addicted to prescription drugs 15 years ago. Now he's talking to Inside Edition.
She was a very lonely woman. Her husband was, for the most part, absent.
In 1991, she was running a charity that provided free medical care in third world countries when Gazinski went to work for her.
She was very smart, talented.
But around the office, he says it was common knowledge that Cindy McCain had a drug problem.
You described mood swings.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes Cindy was more irritable than others. At first, I just wrote that off as the way a person approaches each day. We all have those days. But hers became more severe.
A federal investigation found that Cindy McCain had the charity's medical director write prescriptions for painkillers in the names of employees without their knowledge, like this one for Vicodin made out to Gazinski. The drugs came from the charity's own supply cabinet.
A lot of the drugs were delivered directly to her house.
So you're essentially saying Cindy McCain would take these drugs that were being delivered to her relief organization and use them herself?
Correct.
Gazinski says he was fired for, quote, gossiping about Cindy, a claim he denies. After his dismissal, he went to the DEA and an investigation was launched. Cindy McCain's lawyer negotiated a deal that avoided criminal charges when she agreed to undergo drug treatment.
She was addicted to drugs, and I think that's a situation that plagues a lot of people. I think the situation that is most important is what John McCain did to try to squash the story.
The cover-up.
The cover-up, and that was to attack me.
Gazinski filed this wrongful termination lawsuit, then says he offered to drop it for $250,000. McCain's lawyer called it attempted extortion.
Weren't you trying to shake Cindy McCain down?
No, but I'd already been working with the DEA for 11 months. When we filed the suit. So I don't see that as a shakedown when you've already gone to the proper authorities.
Gazinski says that John McCain used his influence to launch a criminal investigation against him for extortion. No charges were ever filed, but Gazinski says he dropped his suit because he could not afford legal fees.
What were they trying to do?
They were trying to intimidate me, trying to make me be quiet, trying to make Cindy out to be the victim.
The McCain campaign did not return our calls for comment on Gazinski's interview.
People are going to accuse you of being some Democratic operative here trying to bring down McCain and the Republican Party.
Correct.
What do you say to that accusation?
Well, I'm a registered Republican, and I always have been my whole life. I don't have any ties to Democrats or to Obama.
John McCain's lawyer, in a recent letter to the Washington Post, claimed that, quote, Democrats have been shopping Tom Gazinski and his story about Mrs. McCain to the media and blogosphere for weeks.